Hello all you YouTube comic book lovers out there. Thank you for tuning in. It starts right now. Alright, welcome back everybody. Thank you for tuning in for my channel. I really appreciate it. This channel is dedicated to my love and sharing my love of comic books from my collection. Whether it be old comics, new comics, it doesn't matter. I literally read comic books every single day. The old comics, I just want to revitalize them, get young readers into discovering old comic books, as well as getting the older generation reacquainted with those books they used to love, or books they didn't even know existed. So this is just about breathing new life into the comic book world. And today's read is going to be one that is a dollar box discovery. Okay, and welcome back. We're going to be reviewing Dollar Box Discovery, Gama Flight by Marvel Comics. I was really excited to see this comic because I was a huge fan of Alpha Flight back in the 80s, and I loved the dynamics of the team. The costumes were super cool and the writing was awesome. So yeah, huge fan of Alpha Flight. I had not heard of Gama Flight before, so I was very excited to see this. This was originally published in August of 2021, of course, by Marvel Comics. It was written by Al Ewing and Crystal Frazier. So let me read up a little bit here on these team here. Al Ewing wrote other titles such as U.S. Avengers, Ultimates, Rocket, Royals, and of course the Immortal Hulk, which spawned the series Gama Flight. Most notable for me was that he wrote for Judge Dredd during his stint with 2000 AD, and again, loved Judge Dredd along with Anthrax. You know, nothing would be better with some Anthrax and some Judge Dredd, right? And he wrote for other publishers such as 2000 AD, Dynamite, Titan, DC, and Marvel. Crystal Frazier was a little interesting for me to read about. She actually started in 2001 her own webcomic called Venus Envy under the name of Erin Lindsay. She originally began her career writing for like RPG games and things of that nature. She created Sharda, make sure I read this right, Sharda Guilty for Pathfinder role-playing games, which was their first iconic transgendered character. Her other noted writings are for DC and Marvel. She wrote the graphic novel Cheer Up and titles such as Love is a Battlefield for DC and The Immortal Hulk, of course, Gama Flight. The book was illustrated by Lan Medina, who's an award-winning artist. In 2007, he was awarded Best New Comic from Glyph Comics Awards for the book Storm. Also on the book Storm was Eric Jerome Dickey, David Yarden, and Jay Leistein and Sean Parsons. He also illustrated books such as Fables #1, Araya, District X, and The Punisher Max. The cover artist was Lionel Francis Hugh and Sonny Go. I hope I said that correctly. And plus, of course, there were a number of variant covers for this issue. The colors were by Antonio Fabella, letters and design by Joe Sabino. So a little background on Gama Flight. Gama Flight was actually an offshoot of the space defense program Alpha Flight. Its first appearance was in the Immortal Hulk numbers 26 through 30, which I'll have to go back and read now since I'd never heard of Gama Flight till I saw this issue on the newsstand. They were originally established to find and capture the Hulk and deliver him to the authorities, but instead of delivering him to the authorities, they wound up aiding the Hulk. So this now made them fugitives from their former employers. The team consists of Puck, who was an original Alpha Flight member, Titania, the Absorbing Man, Doc Sasquatch, Dr. Charlie McGowan, and the Gamma mutated Ricky Jones Del Fry. They're like two personalities were stuck in one body. As far as the team goes, for me, Rick Jones and Del Fry, the concept was interesting. I just had a hard time with the way he was illustrated, you know, with his head hanging off of him like that from the side or whatever. But other than that, you know, it's a pretty solid team in this book here. The story is that begins with the team dealing with the fact that they're now fugitives and that they're on the run. They're trying to regroup and they find a hiding place with Titania and the Absorbing Man at their place, where Dr. McGowan is working on technology to try and get them to get back on their feet and whatnot. Well, as they're discussing all the things that they're going through, they see another Gamma mutie on the TV that's destroying the city, and the authorities are attacking. So they decide to go assist this monster to get them to calm down and also possibly eliminate any civilian casualties, because they're heroes, right? So Dr. Squatch, the Absorbing Man, Titania, and Puck are beamed in, just like Star Trek, and wind up battling the Gamma mutant Stockpile, whose real name is Dion, to try and stop her rampaging of the city and to gain her trust. Well, in speaking with her, they discover the fact that she was altered to this form from some mysterious facility, and that someone somewhere is manufacturing Gamma mutants. She thought the Gama Flight was sent to retrieve and return her, but in fact they just wanted to help her out. When the authorities roll in, Dr. McGowan attempts to retrieve the team, but due to some technological issues with their equipment, Titania and Dr. Squatch are left behind. Enter Scar, the son of Hulk, who appears to take Stockpile back into custody and return her to this organization that is creating Gamma mutants through their Project Green Spring. And what was interesting about the reappearance of Scar at this point at the end of the book is that earlier they were discussing Scar and how they thought that he had been the only person ever cured of the gamma radiation. And once he was cured, though, he kind of fell off the grid, only to return in the true charming Scar format that we all know and love. So that was the end of the book. For me, the artwork in this book was fantastic. I loved the illustrations. The color and design was beautifully done. But again, a drawback for me with MCU type books is I thought this was a genuine first issue origin series, you know, but this is actually a spin-off of them appearing in the Immortal Hulk, which now I have to go back and read those issues to kind of figure out what their real true origin was. So that was the only drawback for me. You know, most of it in the beginning was them just talking about what happened in some of the issues of the Hulk, and then by the time the story really started getting together, it's the end, and then there's Scar. So, you know, they have their woe is me time. Then they regroup and say, hey, we're going to do something for the good of this Gamma mutant and for civilians. And then they roll in there, and authorities come in, and they want to get the heck out. And then, boom, there's Scar appearing, and that was the end of the book. So for me, the writing was not super great. It's one of those where you have to go back and reread other issues to really find out what's going on. Sometimes for me with Marvel Comics, that's a drawback. Again, I was looking for a genuine, true origin issue with #1 of Gama Flight. So that is my review. I have a rating system that I call the POW factor. So it rates books from PAL 1 to PAL 5, 5 being the best. And I'll have to say for this one, this was a PAL 3. It got 3 PALs for me because, again, the artwork was great, the design and layout was great. It's just the story for me was a little lackluster, and before it really got going, it was the end. So I do have issue 3 of Gama Flight. I need to find issue 2, so I need to get issue 2, read that one before I go on to 3. And I'll probably come back later, man, and do another review of Gama Flight. I'd like to hear what you thought of the book. What do you thought of the team? Are they something that could potentially grow into a permanent thing, or is this going to wind up being a little Marvel mini? I don't know. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you like this episode of For the Love of Comics, please let me know. And if you want to see more content in future, please hit the subscribe button. I stuttered. The subscribe button below, and there'll be more content coming up. And it gets better as it goes. I'm pretty new at this, but I'm really enjoying it. And I'm enjoying sharing my love of comics with you out there in YouTube land. So, check it out for yourself. Gama Flight, Marvel Comics.